Thank you guys for joining me on this video. A quick note that this video might contain spoilers for those of you who have yet to watch Rogue One. Another thing is that this week I will be making daily Rogue One videos as a way to celebrate this movie, which I loved. I have actually pre-ordered a copy of Rogue One: The Ultimate Visual Guide and will be making my videos around the information that book contains, and there is a lot in there that should be explained in detail. So stay tuned for those. Hope you have fun with this one, and let's get started. So by now we all know that Saw Gerrera appeared in the Clone Wars defending his home world of Onderon against the Confederacy. At one point during those times, we even saw Anakin training Saw and his fighters in combat. So what happened to Saw Gerrera after the Clone Wars ended? When the Republic transformed into the Galactic Empire, Gerrera viciously fought against the new Imperial military. Eventually, he went on to form a group that became known as the Partisans. The Partisans were led by Saw Gerrera, who played a huge part in defending his home planet of Onderon, during which point Gerrera hired an unknown Lasat mercenary who fought Agent Kallus and his platoon when they were sent to Onderon. Sometime after these events, Saw Gerrera eventually came to the rescue of little Jyn Erso, who had just lost her mother, and her father, who had been taken away by the Empire. In Rogue One, during the dialogue that Saw and Jyn had when they met for the first time in quite a while, we clearly understand that Saw Gerrera practically raised Jyn Erso. As Saw explains it, the reason why their paths would separate is because of the danger that Jyn Erso's identity presented for him and his insurgents. Around 2 years before the Battle of Yavin, Saw Gerrera and the Partisans went on an investigative mission to the planet of Geonosis. It was there that they would encounter the other rebel cells, and this in turn is what eventually led to Saw Gerrera and the Partisans becoming one of the many cells that would form the Rebel Alliance. However, this partnership would not last very long. The questionable tactics of Saw Gerrera would lead some, like Mon Mothma and others, to cut ties with the Partisans, and it even led to many branding them as terrorists. In fact, you could make the case that the Partisans delivered the biggest damage to the rebellion, because the Partisans were responsible for many attacks that resulted in civilian casualties, and this in turn went in favor of the Galactic Empire, where in response, they would make propaganda posters denouncing the Rebel Alliance as a terrorist group. This notion would continue even beyond the Empire and even into the New Republic that we see in The Force Awakens, where the Partisans would be mentioned as an example of the rebels' so-called terrorist tactics during the Galactic Civil War. By this time that we see in Rogue One, Saw Gerrera and the Partisans had almost cut all ties and had very little communication with the mainstream rebellion. Instead, they focused on liberating the Holy City and the planet of Jedha from Imperial occupation. But as we see in the film, unfortunately, this mission is where Saw Gerrera would fail and eventually meet his end. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this one, don't forget to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't miss out on any of my future videos that I will post on this channel. Have a fun day my friends, and in closing, don't forget, may the Force be with you always.